The work done in isothermal compression compared to that in adiabatic compression will be A less, B more, C same, D more or less depending upon the extent of work done. The correct answer is more. For organic compounds, group contribution method can be used for the estimation of A. Critical properties, B. Specific gravity, C. Specific volume, D. Thermal conductivity. The correct answer is critical properties. Specific does not change during phase change at constant temperature and pressure. A. Entropy, B. Gibbs energy, C. Internal energy, D. Enthalpy. The correct answer is Gibbs energy. When liquid and vapor phases of one component system are in equilibrium at a given temperature and pressure, the molar free energy is A. more in vapor phase, B. more in liquid phase, C. same in both the phases, D. replaced by chemical potential which is more in vapor phase. The correct answer is same in both the phases. Heat evolved absorbed during conversion of a substance from one allotropic form to another is termed as the heat of A. fusion, B. vaporization, C. transition, D. none of these. The correct answer is transition. What happens in a reversible adiabatic compression? A. heating occurs, B. cooling occurs, C. pressure is constant, D. temperature is constant. The correct answer is heating occurs. Sublimation temperature of dry ice solid CO2 is C. A. 273, B. 0, C. 78, D. 5. The correct answer is 78. If atmospheric temperature and dew point are nearly equal, then the relative humidity is A. 0, B. 50, C. almost 100, D. unpredictable. The correct answer is almost 100. The internal energy of an incompressible fluid depends upon its A. pressure, B. temperature, C. both A, B, D. neither A nor B. The correct answer is temperature. Entropy change in case of reversible adiabatic process is A. minimum, B. 0, C. maximum, D. indeterminate. The correct answer is 0. In reactions involving solids and liquids where change in volume is negligible, the heat of reaction at constant pressure as compared to that at constant volume is A. more, B. less, C. same, D. unpredictable depends on the particular reaction. The correct answer is same. For multicomponent multiple phases to be in equilibrium at the same pressure and temperature, the of each component must be same in all phases. A. chemical potential, B. fugacity, C. both A and B, D. neither A nor B. The correct answer is both A and B. The efficiency of an Otto engine compared to that of a diesel engine for the same compression ratio will be A. more, B. less, C. same, D. data insufficient to predict. The correct answer is more. Mollier chart is a plot. A. pressure versus enthalpy, B. pressure versus volume, C. enthalpy versus entropy, D. temperature versus entropy. The correct answer is enthalpy versus entropy. Variation of equilibrium pressure with temperature for any two phases of a given substances is given by the equation A. Gibbs-Duhem, B. Maxwell's, C. Clapeyron, D. none of these. The correct answer is Clapeyron. Pick out the undesirable property for a good refrigerant. A. high thermal conductivity, B. low freezing point, C. large latent heat of vaporization, D. high viscosity. The correct answer is high viscosity. Isotherm on an enthalpy concentration diagram for an ideal solution will be A straight line, B sine curve, C parabola, D hyperbola. The correct answer is straight line. The fusion of a crystalline solid at its melting point to form a liquid at the same temperature is accompanied by A decrease in enthalpy corresponding to evolution of heat, B decrease of entropy, C increase in enthalpy corresponding to absorption of heat, D no change in enthalpy. The correct answer is increase in enthalpy corresponding to absorption of heat. Melting of ice is an example of an process. A adiabatic, B isothermal, C isometric, D none of these. The correct answer is isothermal. A cylinder contains 640 grams of liquid oxygen. The volume occupied in liters by the oxygen when it is released and brought to standard conditions 0 C 760 mm Hg will be liters. A 448, B 224, C 22.4. D data insufficient can't be computed. The correct answer is 448. Rotary lime kiln is an example of an system. A closed, B open, C isolated, D non-thermodynamic. The correct answer is open. Heat of reaction is A dependent on pressure only, B dependent on temperature only, C dependent on both pressure and temperature, D independent of temperature changes. The correct answer is dependent on both pressure and temperature. The expression is for the of an ideal gas. A compressibility, B work done under adiabatic condition, C work done under isothermal condition, D coefficient of thermal expansion. The correct answer is work done under isothermal condition. What happens in a reversible adiabatic expansion process? A heating takes place, B cooling takes place, C pressure is constant, D temperature is constant. The correct answer is cooling takes place. Degree of freedom of a system consisting of a gaseous mixture of H2 and NH3 will be A0, B1, C2, D3. The correct answer is 3. On a PV diagram of an ideal gas, suppose a reversible adiabatic line intersects a reversible isothermal line at point A. Then at a point A the slope of the reversible adiabatic line PVS and the slope of the reversible isothermal line PVT are related as where YCPCV, APVS PVT, BPVS PVTY, CPVS YPVT, DPVS1 YPVT. The correct answer is PVS YPVT. Pick out the wrong statement. The net change in entropy in any reversible cycle is always zero. B. The entropy of the system as a whole in an irreversible process increases. C. The entropy of the universe tends to a maximum. D. The entropy of a substance does not remain constant during a reversible adiabatic change. The correct answer is the entropy of a substance does not remain constant during a reversible adiabatic change. Fugacity coefficient of a substance is the ratio of its fugacity to A. Mole fraction, B. Activity, C. Pressure, D. Activity coefficient. The correct answer is pressure. Dryness fraction of wet steam is defined as the ratio of mass of vapour in the mixture to the mass of mixture. Calorimeter is not used for measuring the dryness fraction of steam. A. Bomb, B. Separating, C. Bucket, D. Throttling. The correct answer is bomb. As the time is passing, entropy of the universe A is increasing. B is decreasing. C remains constant. D data insufficient, can't be predicted. The correct answer is increasing. Which of the following processes cannot be made reversible even under ideal condition of operation? A. Free expansion of a gas. B. Compression of air in a compressor. C. Expansion of steam in a turbine. D. All ABC. The correct answer is free expansion of a gas. The relation connecting the fugacities of various components in a solution with one another and to composition at constant temperature and pressure is called the equation. A. Gibbs-Duhem. B. Van Laar. C. Gibbs-Helmholtz. D. Margules. The correct answer is Gibbs-Duhem. Which of the following identities can be most easily used to verify steam table data for superheated steam? A. TVSPSV. B. TPSVSP. C. PTVSVT. D. VTPSPT. The correct answer is VTPSPT. In the equation PVN constant, if the value of Ny is CPCV, then it represents a reversible process. A. Isothermal. B. Adiabatic. C. Isentropic. D. Polytropic. The correct answer is isentropic. The ammonia synthesis reaction represented by N23H22NH3H22.4 kilocalories is A. Endothermic. B. Exothermic. C. Isothermal. D. Adiabatic. The correct answer is exothermic. With increase in temperature, the atomic heat capacities of all solid elements A. increases. B. decreases. C. remains unchanged. D. decreases linearly. The correct answer is increases. The temperature at the eutectic point of the system is the temperature that can be attained in the system. A. lowest. B. highest. C. average. D. none of these. The correct answer is lowest. The effect of changing the evaporator temperature on COP as compared to that of changing the condenser temperature in vapor compression refrigeration system is A. less pronounced. B. more pronounced. C. equal. D. data insufficient, can't be predicted. The correct answer is more pronounced. Steam undergoes isentropic expansion in a turbine from 5000 kPa and 400 C entropy 6.65 kJ/kg to 150 kPa entropy of saturated liquid 1.4336 kJ/kg. K entropy of saturated vapor 7.2234 kJ/kg. K. The exit condition of steam is A. superheated vapor. B. partially condensed vapor with quality of 0.9. C. saturated vapor. D. partially condensed vapor with quality of 0.1. The correct answer is superheated vapor. An isentropic process is carried out at constant A. volume. B. pressure. C. temperature. D. all A, B, and C. The correct answer is volume. All gases except shows a cooling effect during throttling process at atmospheric temperature and pressure. A. oxygen. B. nitrogen. C. air. D. hydrogen. The correct answer is hydrogen. High-pressure steam is expanded adiabati-cally and reversibly through a well-insulated turbine which produces some shaft work. If the enthalpy change and entropy change across the turbine are represented by H and S respectively for this process, A. H0 and S0, B. H0 and S0, C. H0 and S0, D. H0 and S0. The correct answer is H0 and S0. The necessary condition for phase equilibrium in a multiphase system of N components is that the A. Chemical potentials of a given component should be equal in all phases. B. Chemical potentials of all components should be same in a particular phase. C. Sum of the chemical potentials of any given component in all the phases should be the same. D. None of these. The correct answer is chemical potentials of a given component should be equal in all phases. Compressibility factor reduced pressure plot on reduced coordinates facilitates A. Use of only one graph for all gases. B. Covering of wide range. C. Easier plotting. D. More accurate plotting. The correct answer is use of only one graph for all gases. Which of the following is not an intensive property? A. Molar heat capacity. B. Internal energy. C. Viscosity. D. None of these. The correct answer is internal energy. Pick out the wrong statement. A. At constant pressure solubility of a gas in a liquid diminishes with rise in temperature. B. Normally the gases which are easily liquefied are more soluble in common solvents. C. The gases which are capable of forming ions in aqueous solution are much more soluble in water than in other solvents. D. At constant pressure solubility of a gas in a liquid increases with rise in temperature. The correct answer is at constant pressure solubility of a gas in a liquid diminishes with rise in temperature. Gibbs phase rule finds application when heat transfer occurs by A. Conduction. B. Convection. C. Radiation. D. Condensation. The correct answer is condensation. Absorption evolution of heat during conversion of a substance from one allotropic form to another is termed as the heat of A. Sublimation. B. Fusion. C. Transition. D. Vaporization. The correct answer is transition.